Hi everyone! Today we're going to be doing blind contour drawings. Now blind contour is when you draw something without looking at your paper. Because when you draw in general, you want to look at your subject so much more than what you're actually drawing. That's when you can really see what is going on with the subject. A lot of times we start looking at our paper too much and we think we know what something looks like, but we don't. So today when we draw, we're not going to look at our paper at all. We're going to take about 60 seconds to 90 seconds and we're just going to look at what we're drawing. We're going to draw different things, and when we draw, we're going to take our, so one of our things is we're going to draw a shoe first. I'm going to start at one end of my shoe, and as my eye moves, I want to move my pen. And then it might go up and it might stop. Even though that I know that there's a line between the laces, I might just do the outline and slowly go around. So as my eye is going around, my pen is going around. And the key is to try to have your eye and your pen go about the same speed. So as my eye is going over slowly, I like to pretend like there's a bug crawling across. My pen is slowly going to go also. And when I hit an end, I'll go back around. And then once I've kind of done the outline, usually I go back in and I get the spots. We're also going, when you do blind contour, you don't want to pick up your pen because you don't know where you're putting it back down. So you want to try to keep your pen down the whole time, and as your eye is moving, so is your pen. Okay, so we're going to do this a few different times with different subjects. And then we're going to move on to a self-portrait. Now, it's gonna look weird. Like, I totally understand it's gonna look weird, but we're gonna practice a few times. We'll look at our friends and do it, and then we will also do it of ourselves. We've got mirrors, and I'm going to show you, first I'm gonna show you how to do it with a subject, and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do it with ourselves. And then once we have one, we've practiced a couple times, we're going to do it on a bigger, nicer piece of paper, and then we're going to turn it into a collage. Now this collage can, I want you to think about color when you're doing it. It could be all one color, it could be a gradient of color. You can put words in it if you want that kind of describe yourself. But when you're making this collage, it needs to be like small pieces of paper, no bigger than a quarter. Because if you get it too big, it doesn't feel like a collage. It starts to feel just more like chunks of magazine. And we want our face, we want it to add texture around our face. So we are going to start with the shoe that I showed you. So like I said, I am going to start my eye, I'm gonna put my pen down and start my eye about where I saw my shoe go. And you're gonna see I'm not looking down. I'm going to go around, and as my eye is moving, and you might need to start slower because I know that I can go a little bit faster. Now I'm doing the laces. I'm getting to the bow tie. It's got two lines and around. And now I've gone back and I'm going to get some of the designs around it like that. And then I might even try to draw these patterns like this, and then my Brooks symbol. Okay? So, it looks weird, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a shoe at all. That's okay. We're just going to practice doing this a few different times. When I do this, we're going to do this in our sketchbook, and we're going to do different things. Now, the substitute is going to tell you the different things that we're going to practice drawing. And then we're going to move on to a self-portrait. Now we're going to practice drawing our friends a couple times. I've got a mirror in front of me, so it's right here. I've got this mirror in front of me. You can see my kitchen, stuff like that. And I'm going to be looking at myself, not my paper. Now, it's the same thing as if I were drawing an object. I'm going to start going around. I might go down, and I'm just going to do it very quickly. Then sometimes you can stop and just make sure that you kind of are at the area that you need to for the face. And then, like I said, I'm not picking up my pen, so it could look a little bit weird when I'm done. Really should add in the ear pods, shouldn't I? So I'm just going to do this a few different times. They're going to look weird, but when you start to collage it, it looks pretty cool, actually, when you're done. So let's get started. And then when you're doing the final, it is okay if you need to look and pick up your pen and start doing the facial features. Just make sure you're kind of in the right area. You're not going, but just make sure that you're not looking too much. Okay, once you have done your final blind contour drawing of your self-portrait, you're going to need to get magazines, and they can be anything. This is what I have at the house. So I am going to look for a color scheme that I either like or that I think kind of represents me. So I like greens, and so I'm going to stick to kind of greens and golds. And also I've found some words like art that are really good. Art is really good for me. So I'm going to make sure that I incorporate that somewhere in my collage. And remember, I like to tear up pieces for a collage. You want different shapes. Remember, they're not going to be very much bigger than they're going to be about the size of a quarter, if not smaller. And I'm just going to tear up different pieces. Now, I might tear up quite a bit, and then I can always go back and tear up some more. But once I have a good start of pieces in kind of like a color scheme, let me get some more greens over here. So I'm going to just tear up some different pieces. I have got a good start on my collage pieces. Now I'm probably going to need more than this. I am going to kind of lay them out and get an idea of movement. Now I could have things kind of radiate out like a sunburst. And so I might just kind of play with this and get an idea of what I want to do. Now I'm not going to cover up my drawing, and I know that I need to have pieces very close together because I don't want to see any white space on the drawing. It's not finished until all of that is covered up. So I'm going to just start kind of laying them out. Now you don't have to do this. You could do like a gradient up. You could start with like a light version of your color and go up. Also, you can think about your color theory, and you know that you should know the complements of a color. So the complement of a color is the opposite color on the color wheel. So you can look at the color wheel up at the top of the room, and the opposite color of the color you're working with is its complement. So for green, its complement would be red. And I can choose to do like mostly green and then kind of maybe add in a little bit of red as an accent. So I have like some red right here, and I could add in just like a little bit of a red line if I want. Okay, so I'm just kind of laying out and getting a game plan for my collage. Once I have a good game plan and I know that I've got about as many pieces as I need, doesn't mean I'm not going to have to go back and tear a little bit more. And you're going to have to define like a line around yours. If you left any space open, you're going to have to kind of define where that is going to end. Okay, so I'm starting to get an idea of my layout. I want a different color in here, so I know that I need to go back in. I might get some more red for over here. I might bring it in some red up here too, so it doesn't feel like the complement is just here. Maybe I've got some red over here and maybe some up here. And once I've got kind of a good game plan, I know that I've got about as many pieces as I need. I might need to cut or tear some more of this. Might need to tear some more of this anywhere where I don't have enough to fill in. Then I can start gluing. Now, craftsmanship is key on this because especially when you're tearing pieces, you want to make sure that it feels clean and finished, like a finished piece of art. So I'm going to be very careful about how much glue I use. I'm using tacky glue, but you guys have white glue all, which is just as good. I'm just going to use a tiny bit of glue because, for one thing, the more glue that I use, the longer it takes to dry. And so therefore, it's not as strong. You might think it is stronger if you use lots of glue, and it is once it dries, but I don't want to sit here and have to hold it the whole time. Also, when I'm gluing, I give it like a small picture frame around, and I'm going to glue pieces on top of each other so that I don't get a lot of white space. And I'm just going to very carefully work my way around. Now, if you have lots of pieces, this is going to take you more than one day. So if you have lots of pieces to glue that you've torn up, the substitute can give you a baggie to put your pieces in, and you can come back and paper clip it to your artwork, and then you can come back and finish it tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just working very carefully around and slowly gluing everything down. Now your artwork is going to be wet if you start gluing today. So you're going to need to, and you're going to have to go off the page. Anyways, it's going to be wet, so you're going to put it on the drying rack when you're done with your baggie of pieces. And also go ahead and go off the edge of the paper, and we will trim it at the very end, okay? Now remember, your artwork is not finished and turned in until it's into Artsonia. So when you finish tomorrow, you need to upload it onto Artsonia. Also, I'm going to be emailing out the Google Classroom code. You need to make sure that you sign into that because some of the projects we're going to be doing, I need to see progress photos. So you're going to have to upload those into Google so that I can see how it's going and give you feedback. All right, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.